Hello, it's Mara from Houseplants, New Jersey. Welcome back or welcome. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the Tradescantia zebrina. So I have some in this pot here. It grows really fast and really well. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to just be taking cuttings and we're going to be plopping them in some soil, and then eventually they'll grow in. Okay, so we have, it's also called Wandering Joe. So I have, I just pulled this from the soil right here. So let me face you down. We're going to restart this for spring. Okay, so we have a node here. We have a root here. We're going to cut that. And then all of these plants here, like these nodes here, we're going to cut below the node. We're going to rip a leaf off, and then we're going to just stick it in the soil. All right. And that's it. It's so easy. This one's throwing off a new shoot. We're going to be doing this one. Add that in there. And then they'll start like trailing too. So we're going to take some soil. All right, I have some perlite in this soil. Now, they'll do well in any kind of soil. And then you just take the cuttings and you plop them in. Okay, the more nodes touching, the better. They are called Wandering Jew, and that's because they are an invasive plant in certain areas like Florida and any warm weather climates. They're like a weed. They grow like a weed down there. So I'm going to take as many as I can from here, whether it be just a top cut or a rooted cut. We're going to be taking. So this one's rooted. This one isn't, but it will root, and we're going to still plop it into this pot here, into this little cup, this solo cup. And I'm going to take as many as I can, clean this off as much as I can, take off some leaves. All right, I'm going to cut the bottom of this one off, and then I'm just going to stick it in there. It is the easiest rooting plant. It'll root in a few days, and you'll have a full plant within a month or two. And now with this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put some soil over the top of the nodes. I use a solo cup that I burn holes into, and within a few days you'll start noticing roots growing down the pot. Just take off some of the dried up leaves. They do dry up in the winter time and stuff, and then you can restart them, like I said, and you'll be very happy with the results. And they're very rewarding because they just keep growing. All right, and there's one for now. Then we're going to keep on going. I have other ones here. So they were rooted on, look at this, they're rooted on both sides. I don't know if you guys can see that. They're rooted on both sides. So, I mean, they're just so simple to grow. Take off some of the ugly leaves, the dried out leaves, and then you can cut this right in the middle. And then put both rooted parts in there. And then we're gonna just put the soil over on top. You don't even have to go crazy with like putting the soil in and this and that. You could just do that later if you want to. So let's get some more. We'll pull some out. Get another rooted cutting without any leaves on it. It will grow leaves no matter what. These things grow. So let's get this ugly leaf off, this dried out one. Put that in there. I'm going to start putting some soil into this planter pot. All right, and you don't have, there isn't any kind of specific soil that you have to use. You could just use like regular potting mix. There's no, like, you don't have to use an aroid soil or anything specific to this plant. It could just, it will grow no matter what, it will grow. Okay, so you could just pretty much plop whatever you want into any kind of soil and it'll grow. My cousin lives in Florida and they just grow everywhere over there. So we just keep pulling them from the ground and putting them into vases, and we put them into planters, and they just keep growing. They don't stop. So it's pretty easy plant. Simple, stupid. That's what these are. And if you really want to have a good time, like with your kids or whatever, get some of these. They're very inexpensive, these plants. You can get one from Home Depot. You could just start, cutting leaves and planting them into soil and having your kids put them into the soil. It's something for them to do for hours, and they'll be totally into it. You know how kids are. They love that kind of stuff. They love getting dirty. Thank you for watching this video. We're going to water these up, and then we're going to sell them. I sell them a lot. So and then people love them. They just grow for them. Enormous. Okay. So that's what we're going to do with this. And then, and that's it. So have a good night. Like, subscribe, and comment. Absolutely comment. I love the comments. I think they're really cool. All right. Thank you. Have a good night.